Hey, 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 we are back with three of my top tips to overcoming porn. Okay, now be sure that I have a lot more ways to overcome porn than these top three, but these three are really like a great jumping off point, and I just want you to have something so that you can begin right away. Okay, so this first one that I want to give you now, it might seem a little bit funny, but what I have found just from my own clinical experience is when people try to go cold turkey with just stopping porn completely, it generally doesn't work. It generally doesn't last. So I'm always trying to guide them more toward let's just cut it in half. So there's actually two tips inside of this one tip. And so that's the first thing to do is like cut your usage in half. So if you're using porn twice a day, you're going to go down to once a day. If you're using porn 5 times a week, you're going to go down to maybe 2 or 3 times. Probably not 2.5 because that's a little odd, right? But try to go down to 2. But if you can't, if you do 3, then okay, no big deal. At least you didn't do 5, right? So you want to cut your usage in half. That is a stair-stepping way. It's more lasting. You're going to be adjusting your own system. The reason that you're reaching for something outside of yourself to make you feel better is because you don't want to look at or feel the deeper emotions that are inside. And that's perfectly normal. That's perfectly human. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just a practice. It's just moving in a different direction, right? So we want to get these synapses in your brain firing in a different way. So cut your usage in half. And then the next piece of this two-tiered tip for tip number one is only watch porn that makes you feel lighter and uplifted afterward. So if you're watching, because there's so many different kinds of porn out there, right? So many different kinds. And some are more tasteful and tactful and more artistic. And, afterwards you might be like, wow, that was pretty inspiring. It really got my head involved. Like, that was kind of, I really enjoyed it. And then there's other porn that's very empty, very shallow, and hardly entertaining. It's just, very, very rudimentary. And afterwards, you might feel like, ugh, ick, like shameful and guilty. You might feel like, ugh, why did I do that? Like, I feel even worse than I did before. Like, sure, I had an orgasm, but I'm just not feeling good about myself. So really pay attention to the kind of porn that you're watching. And if you need to switch it up, switch it up. Look for something that has more depth, more meaning, that has maybe more love, more romance involved in it, rather than just like penis, vagina fucking, or penis ass, as the case may be, or whatever it is. So those are my tips for you to get started with overcoming your addiction to porn. Now, if you didn't watch the first video, go back and watch that because that's really important. I explain in there what addiction to porn actually is. We talk about what addiction is and what being addicted to porn really truly is and what that means. So you want to identify, are you truly addicted to porn? Or are you just using it as a supplemental part of your sexuality? There's a perfectly healthy way of using porn. It's not about the porn itself, it's about your relationship to it. So go back and watch that if you haven't yet. And then stay tuned for the next video because we're going to give tip number 2 to overcoming porn addiction. All right. I really want to support you with this. I think it is a very challenging thing to be faced with in life. And I have helped many, many people through it. So I do know my way through this path. I myself have not been addicted to porn. So I am coming from a different perspective. I just want to say that up front. But I do understand addiction. I really do. And I do understand how to overcome these things. And I know the deeper reason behind them. So I've had a lot of success helping clients and I really enjoy it. I really love helping those who are ready to help themselves. So if that's you, then stay tuned for video number 2. I'll see you in there. Go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, all that jazz. You know what to do. See you soon.